Hey traders, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. We have a daily higher low forming on a lot of individual names. We had a long drawn out pattern that we were watching all day yesterday, and it took until today to confirm. It's one of my favorites, and we'll see where we stand from here. Was that pullback a red flag, or are the bulls keeping their control, and are we looking for more upside from here? So the Bitcoin daily chart, we did break the little support level here at 38.3 thousand. It's not necessarily a very important level for me. It was just really the only support level that we had nearby. Bouncing around the daily EMA 12, trying to hold that level and trying to set the daily higher low. What do we need for a daily higher low to be set? And calling it a daily higher low, you can look at this and say, well, it's not a daily higher low because we broke 38.3 thousand. And that would be fine as well. So I'm gonna take that route. I'm not gonna call it a daily higher low. We're bouncing. And we're watching to see, do we set a lower high? If the bears are going to prove anything to us from this point, we will have to set a lower high and a lower low. And on the 12-hour time frame, that would look like a head and shoulders. My ideal head and shoulders are when the left neckline is above, I should say is below the right neckline, so it's still in an uptrend. This one is not that case, but it is still the definition of a head and shoulders. So we essentially would have to set a lower high, and anything under 42.6 is a 12-hour lower high, and then we must drop down and break 37.5 thousand. If that happens, it's a red flag for me. If that does not happen, then the bulls stay strong on the daily chart. And if you condense this down to the 2-day time frame, that looks like healthy consolidation. And you can even look at the retracement size from the low to the high. How much did we just pull back? And the answer is 382. So could this be a bull flag? The answer is yes. It's a possibility. And the altcoins are giving some confidence and strength as well, which we'll look at in just a moment. So Bitcoin. Yesterday I was posting on Twitter and I said the only chart that I am looking at on Bitcoin today or in crypto today is this falling wedge. And boy, did it take its time to play out. It was just a snooze fest. Finally broke bull, but the bull break was not convincing because it happened here and there was no volume behind it. So I didn't believe that break. We didn't break the price level for resistance. We then faded back down. As soon as that break took place in the chat room, I'm saying, I don't believe this. There's not much bull volume behind it. It's not giving confidence. Really, the bottom line is it's not forcing any shorts to cover, which is what has to happen if we're going to see a momentum shift. So at that point, I say, all right, well, I'm going to zoom out. 4-hour time frame, that's a bear flag. If that's a 4-hour bear flag and it confirms, we have to see a lack of follow through, which oftentimes happens. Bear flags the lack of follow through to look for the bounce, and that's what happened in this instance. We dropped to a lower low with zero follow through, and then that marked the momentum shift. I entered, in the last video I talked about how I exited my swing. I exited 30% of my swing position on the break of 41,000, and I re-entered it just above 38,000, 6% lower because of this falling wedge. And it was the kind of scenario where, number one, I wasn't intending to sell any of that swing position. I just saw multiple resistance levels lining up at 42.6, and I said I would feel like an idiot if I didn't take some off when I see such a clear resistance line, and we're so extended heading into that resistance. So I exited 30%, re-entered 30%, just because this was a falling wedge, and I said to myself, even if this falling wedge breaks bearish, we are then going to be right into 4-hour oversold conditions, and I wouldn't anticipate any bear follow-through because of that. So that gave me a little bit of confidence as well. But in the end, if I reload my swing position that's based on the monthly time frame, if I reload it anywhere cheaper, even if it's 1% cheaper, that's a win. So the fact that it was 6% cheaper, I wasn't too picky with my re-entry. It's just, all right, give me those coins back, and let's see if we can get a daily bounce. So this time frame on the hourly, we can see the bull volume ramped up, and this morning we were right here, and I posted on Twitter, back to the thread from yesterday, still not seeing the bull volume show up, and then right after that, it started showing up, which was a good sign for follow-through. So now what? Well, we don't even have an hourly uptrend. This move is straight off the low, 37.5 to 39.5. 6% move with no hourly trend change. So we know hourly consolidation is inevitable. It's probably shaping up right now. And if we confirm the hourly trend change, then the 12-hour bounce will see follow-through. And again, we can look at retracements. What is the retracement of this bounce right now? It's about 40%. If we confirm an hourly trend change, it'll be at that 50% level, and it will start decreasing the odds that it's a head and shoulders. I need the price over 40,000 if we're going to start talking about the head and shoulders being less likely. So bulls need to confirm an hourly trend change. Long story short, we have a 5-minute rising wedge forming where these bull breaks are lacking follow through. Anytime you know the bigger picture is looking for consolidation, as the hourly is, and you see bull breaks lacking follow through, you scout a rising wedge. If the rising wedge breaks bare, hourly consolidation is underway. Ideal for the bulls to hold hourly EMA 12, ideally an hourly bull flag, and to keep that move going. So back comfortably in my swing position and just drop that average a little bit. And now patiently watching, can we keep this monthly move going? And the altcoin space is giving some confidence. The Bitcoin dominance chart continues to drop now, and it's dropping both as Bitcoin is bouncing and as it's dropping. So that means that Bitcoin dropped faster than altcoins on that last 4 days of consolidation, and now the altcoins are bouncing faster. And again, if you've been watching these videos, you know that if I'm going to be confident in the cryptocurrency space, just based off of recent history over the last year plus, when the altcoins are leading the way, the bulls have more confidence in general. And again, it's just that rotation going on, which is a good sign overall. The only time I'm comfortable with dominance leading a Bitcoin bull move or a crypto bull move is when there is a news reason behind it for Bitcoin to be getting that attention. Haven't talked about the alert system in a while. TraderPro.com, alert system backburners. So we haven't had a ton of backburners trigger since we added them to the alert system. And again, if you don't know what a backburner trade is, Google backburner chart, guys. There's a whole video talking about it. But essentially, it's a high probability oversold bounce trade. And there's a number of things that we can do with this information. Number one, we can trade and make entries off of these backburner signals. But number two, if I already have my position, I use it for confidence because I want to see if it's a strong crypto environment, these backburners mark our lows. The indication that the bulls are losing control are when you see backburners bounce, set lower highs, and then we drop to lower lows. The ideal scenario for the bulls is backburners marking our higher lows on whatever time frame it ends up playing out on. So here, this is ETH. I think this is the first hourly backburner we've ever had. And again, we've had the backburners for a few weeks at this point, but significant daily bull break, first hourly oversold conditions, took a long time to play out. We had an equilibrium form, but that was a good entry. And we see significant follow through, and the daily bull flag on Ethereum has confirmed to a higher high. That's another reason to have confidence in the Bitcoin daily higher low attempt, because a name like ETH is already up at the high of its entire move. And with that, we had Bitcoin, the only two hourly backburners on Bitcoin. The first one straight to the higher high, and now this one took a little while, little bit of slow bleed, but eventually getting the follow through. So again, those are good signs. Those are hourly backburner trades coming fairly close to marking the bottom, showing aggressive bulls buying the dip, and then bounce follow through. So keep an eye on those backburners as a gauge, again, not only a trade signal, but a gauge of health for the bulls in the crypto space. So ETH USD, new daily higher low set, 24.45, and I didn't sell any of my ETH position when I sold Bitcoin because ETH BTC was strong and there were no red flags whatsoever on the ETH chart for me. So daily higher low set, bull break, next resistance level is 27, make that 28.49. So daily new line in the sand level. And if I want to be real protective of my gains from playing the flush down towards the 1700s, looking for the monthly high or low, I can just walk up a stop. Or I can put a stop for half of my position. Because if we drop down and lose the daily uptrend from here, going back to at least partial cash wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm personally not going to do that. Well, maybe I will, but not at the moment. I'm going to let this continue playing out and continue having some faith in the bulls for their monthly bounces. ETH BTC, key resistance test. We've been watching this weekly equilibrium for months. It's testing resistance right now. If this breaks bull, it's a good sign for not only the Ethereum bulls, and we also have this news event coming up with Ethereum. Some people are watching for it to potentially be a sell the news event. That's a possibility, but, and honestly, I can't even tell you the name of the event off the top of my head. That tells you how little it matters to me. It's good to be aware of it, but it's a fundamental aspect of Ethereum, and I just don't care about it at all because I'm a trader and I care about the numbers on the chart. That's the only thing that I care about. But again, it's important to be aware of, to just, if we see a sell the news event, it won't be surprising to me. But the fact that we set that healthy daily high or low, if we were running straight up on ETH and had not seen this daily bull flag, then I'd be looking for a daily or a sell the news event. But that little bit of consolidation cools things off a bit and makes the sell the news a bit less likely, in my opinion. And plenty of space for a 4-hour high or low next time we consolidate. And again, we know Bitcoin's due for an hourly high or low, so it won't be surprising ETH is due as well. So I like the hourly time frame in the short term. We're going to watch for these hourly high or lows, and we'll see if we can confirm hourly trend changes for the bulls. LTC USD, also potential daily bull flag, hasn't gotten going yet. Watching for it to potentially be a laggard. Key support from here is 135.69 and 135.54. And these bulls need to prove it. But what we need to see is the LTC BTC chart follow through. Because right now we've got pretty much 2 daily inside bars in a row. And look at how similar this looks to Link BTC if you erase that. So if we're just looking at this all bears, sideways, and then the bull move starts, and we look at Litecoin, all bears, little sideways, and then the bull move starts. So the Litecoin bulls are watching their LTC BTC chart and saying, I hope it does what Link BTC just did with the breakout follow through. No sign of it, but again, bulls watching for laggards are keeping an eye out for this, because if Litecoin does confirm the daily bull flag off these daily EMAs, then we'll likely see this bounce get continuation on LTC BTC. Bitcoin right now on the daily, it's possible we tighten within this range. If we get more bounce follow through on an hourly confirmed trend change, it's possible that we tighten up here for another week. And it would be ideal if that happens for alts to continue running. We want to see, ETH run right now as it has. Then maybe we get some running in Sushi and Link. Link already is running, but then maybe we see XRP and LTC, our laggards, run. The bottom line is, if Bitcoin's going sideways, we want bull breaks to be rotating around in this sector. Link. So again, Link is strong. Daily already hitting that higher high. So 2139 is now a short-term support level. Resistance after 25 psychological is 2647. Weekly chart, significant move. We will have to confirm a weekly trend change eventually, but pretty much a straight weekly drop with a lower high almost every single week. And now the bounce getting underway. And again, if this monthly high or low is going to see follow through, we will have to confirm a weekly trend change. I am saying the exact same things that I was saying in stock market videos when I was covering the growth names weeks and weeks ago. And I was establishing my Bitcoin and ETH position for that purpose. The growth names in stocks absolutely have made me money in the cryptocurrency space. And I'm saying the exact same things because technical analysis is the same and they're happening at different times, but it's the same bigger picture setup, which means it's the same weekly setups. And I just find that so fascinating. So the fact that I am so in tune with the stock market and all markets is helping me make money in other markets. So Link BTC, significant move. Again, we'll need the weekly trend change here as well, but it's a notable move off that low. And we're just watching how long can the bulls keep complete control on the 4-hour time frame. Look at the 4-hour EMA 12 holding 4 times now. It'll be a notable shift when that 4-hour EMA 12 support is lost for the first time. AXS USDT, it is still a possible head and shoulders pattern here. We have our left shoulder, our head, and our higher low formed here. Now the bounce is underway. We would have to fail 53.50 and then drop down and break 37.36. I don't think that's the most likely scenario because we would have to see a lot of cryptocurrency weakness in my opinion. Although AXS has been doing its own thing, it's least correlated to all the major cryptos out of most of the names that we watch. But the fact that at this point we're already seeing a 20% plus bounce off the low, and if we were going to drop down and break that support, we would have to turn around and drop almost 20%. It's just not as likely in my opinion. If we fail 53.50, I'd be watching for an equilibrium to then form. So I'm looking at it as a high. Our higher low was 37.36. Nice base of support established there. Inside bar, bull break. Even just playing that inside bar bull break from 40.29, that's a 10% move very quickly. And if we fail 53.50, we'll just look for it to be a tightening range on the daily. I would be surprised if we would just turn around right down and drop through that support level. And the BTC pairing, watch it for clues because it's a daily equilibrium as well. It doesn't look like it, but it's a high, low, lower high, higher low, and anything under 1427 is just another lower high. So it's possible that these equilibriums form from here. Aggressive bears can be keeping an eye out for a top fish. Patient traders are going to just wait for the equilibrium, potential equilibrium, to tighten up before we get a break. So what we're watching in the short term, hourly trend change needed. Wherever this move tops out, have to set the hourly higher low and higher high so that this 12-hour bounce ensures follow through. We certainly don't want to see Bitcoin set a daily lower high and lower low confirming a downtrend. If we do, we zoom out and we scout a weekly higher low. It's just not ideal. We want as much space, as much follow through as possible before we see a daily downtrend. And some altcoins leading the way. So a decent day for the bulls, and we'll see if we can keep it up. I appreciate you watching. Feel free to ask any questions. Bears, you can look for hedging too. If I'm in a long swing position, maybe I want to short a daily lower high on Bitcoin just in case, just to protect in the possible chance that we set a lower high compared to 42.6 thousand on this next bounce. Checking in real quick. Do we have any clues on our crypto names in the stock world? And the answer is no. MARA and Riot not doing much today. MSTR, solid bull day, but not breaking the recent high. Looks very similar to Bitcoin, just a bit more follow through than Bitcoin at this point. And Coin, same thing. So no real information, in my opinion, on those charts. Do good things. See you next time.